What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sports Earth. In this video, as you see by the title, the thumbnail, and your screen, I'm doing a 2022 NFL mock draft. So this is my first mock draft of the 2022 mock draft season. So of course, we're still a year away from the actual 2022 NFL draft. So this is going to be insanely inaccurate, but we're just going to do this for fun. You saw my prospect rankings yesterday, so we're going to get right in this thing. But first, a little shout out to a friend of mine, Top 10 Music, who is starting a channel soon. So he's got 6 subscribers. Let's try to get him all the way up to 15. So go subscribe to him. That will be linked in the description. Let's try to get him to 15 subscribers. He's going to start posting content soon, and I can promise you it is going to be really, really good. But before we get into this mock draft, the top 4 picks belong to the Detroit Lions at number 1, the Houston Texans at number 2, the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 3, and the Philadelphia Eagles at number 4. I did not make this draft order. I used Pro Football Network for this. I did not make the draft order, but this is what we are working with. So with the first pick, the Detroit Lions select Sam Howell, a quarterback from North Carolina. I think he's a better fit for them than a guy like Spencer Rattler. And if they're picking at number 1, Jared Goff certainly was not the only problem, but he was certainly part of the problem, and it should be fairly easy to get rid of him next offseason. So I think they're willing to do that, and I think they're willing to start a new era with Sam Howell at number 1, insanely talented passer from North Carolina. And you saw my video yesterday. You saw me break down Sam Howell's game a little bit. Not super in depth, but a little bit. So Sam Howell, great quarterback, deserving of the number 1 overall selection. At number 2 overall, the Houston Texans select Kayvon Thibodeaux, an edge rusher from Oregon. So Kayvon Thibodeaux is one of the most talented edge rushers in college football, probably the most talented edge rusher in college football right now. And he's going to be a very high draft pick in next year's NFL draft. He's going to dominate the Pac-12 this season, just as he did last year. And he's a super highly rated recruit. He's got an insanely complete skill set. It's really impressive what he's able to do. So Kayvon Thibodeaux is a very, very good prospect from the Oregon Ducks program. So I think the Texans, I think they gave Davis Mills a chance. There's some talented quarterbacks in the 2023 class. So I think they're willing to get a defensive star in Kayvon Thibodeaux. Maybe he can become the face of that defense like J.J. Watt was for so long in Houston. At number 3 overall, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Evan Neal, an offensive tackle from Alabama. The only other pick right here that really would have made sense would have been Derek Stingley, but with Sidney Jones already on the roster, he's solid, and you pick Tyson Campbell at number 33 overall, and you already have Shaquille Griffin, who you signed to a big contract this offseason. I don't think it really made sense to go with another corner, so I've got them going with Evan Neal. He can help protect Trevor Lawrence. Jawan Taylor and Cam Robinson, not necessarily the futures at the offensive tackle positions, both left and right. So I think Evan Neal can come in. He's huge, and I think he can come in and make a big impact early on, protecting their future quarterback, or their future franchise quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. At number 4 overall, the Philadelphia Eagles select Oklahoma quarterback Spencer Rattler. So the second time in 3 seasons that they used an early round pick on an Oklahoma quarterback. This one to replace Jalen Hurts. If Philadelphia's up here, they're another team sort of like Detroit. They don't have a very good roster, but if they're up here, the quarterback is partially to blame. So I think with Philadelphia being up here all the way at number 4, I think that means that, Jalen Hurts did not have an amazing season, and maybe it's time to grab your true franchise guy, invest that high overall pick on him, and I've got them doing that at this number 4 spot, selecting Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma. I think Sam Howell is their quarterback prospect right now, but Spencer Rattler, he's going to have an amazing season at Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley is a great coach, and Spencer Rattler probably going to be a top 5 pick in next year's NFL draft, and I think he fits pretty well with the Eagles here at number 4. At number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals select Derek Stingley Jr., a cornerback from LSU. So they lost William Jackson in free agency, and they really don't have a super bright future at the position. They have Mike Hilton. They have guys like that just aren't They're good, but they aren't really their future number one guy. And Derek Stingley can be that super talented cornerback from LSU. Third straight year that they're picking an LSU guy in the top 5. So, of course, Joe Burrow in 2019, Jamar Chase in 2020. I've got them picking Derek Stingley here uh, Joe Burrow in 2020. I knew I messed something up. So I've got them picking Derek Stingley here at number 5 overall in this 2022 mock draft. So he can come in, he can be their number 1 corner. Had an amazing freshman season in 2019, but his 2020 year is a little sort of up and down, but he was still a good cornerback. And I think this year, I think he's just going to blow everybody away. He's a super talented corner, and I think he'll be one of the better cornerback prospects that we ever see when it's all said and done. At number 6 overall, the New York Jets select Christian Harris, a linebacker from Alabama. With Derek Stingley off the board, there's not really a corner that they're willing to pick here at number 6. So I have them settling for Christian Harris, but Christian Harris still a top 10 talent, and he is just super talented, can go right in the middle of that defense, and that defense needs a lot of help. They've been building up the offense. They built up the offense in the 2021 draft and in that 2021 offseason. So now you look here to address the defense early on with Christian Harris at number 6 overall. At number 7 overall, the New York Giants select Kedon Slovis, a quarterback from USC. So with them picking up here with the talent that they have, this is definitely Daniel Jones to blame. Now they also have the Chicago Bears pick, so this could be the Bears pick, but I will tell you that the Giants pick again not too far from this number 7 pick. So regardless of whether this is the Bears pick or their own pick, this is a very disappointing result for the New York Giants because the other Giants pick, as I mentioned, not too far behind this. So I think it's time for a new quarterback era if they are up picking this high. Daniel Jones, he just wasn't really the answer. A lot of people thought Dwayne Haskins was the best pick in that 2019 draft. And to be honest, nobody really was. But they went with Daniel Jones, and he just hadn't really panned out so far. So if they struggle again, I think it's probably time for a new quarterback, and Kedon Slovis can be just that. I think he's the 3rd best quarterback in this class. At number 8 overall, the Atlanta Falcons may be a little bit of a reach, but I have them taking Zach Harrison over Drake Jackson. I think he's a better fit for the system, and I think he's probably the 3rd best edge rusher in this class, but I think he's a better fit for the Falcons system than Drake Jackson, so I've got them addressing that edge rusher position. It's a big need, and you're getting probably a little bit of a reach, but it's a big, big need for the Atlanta Falcons. At number 9 overall, the Denver Broncos select DeMarvin Leal, defensive tackle from Texas A&M. Now, DeMarvin Leal has the ability to play anywhere really on this 3-4 front. Probably not as a nose tackle, but he can be a 3-4 defensive end, and I think that would benefit him very well. I think it would benefit the Broncos very well, and maybe that could help them take that next step. With those top 3 quarterbacks off the board, I don't think Denver's looking at quarterback here, even though you really don't have your future guy. Maybe you wait one more season, see how everything goes. But I think DeMarvin Leal's a good pick here at number 9, good value. At number 10 overall, the New York Giants, I told you they were picking again soon. They select Kyle Hamilton, a safety from Notre Dame. So Kyle Hamilton, coming into the season, he's one of the better safety prospects of the past 20 or so seasons. He's a really, really good safety prospect, and he's only going to improve. So I think number 10 pick is pretty good value for him. Now, the safety position is not insanely valuable, so I do have concerns about picking a safety up this high. But Kyle Hamilton come into that defense. I'm not entirely sure where he would fit. But he can just be one more chess piece to add to that pretty talented defense. At number 11 overall, the Washington football team selects Malik Willis, a quarterback from Liberty. A lot of people have Malik Willis as sort of their sleeper quarterback in this draft class. Led Liberty to a great season last year, and they're going to be really, really good again this year. Have a potential to make a big-time bowl game and potentially go undefeated. So the Liberty Flames, they're led by Malik Willis, an amazing dual-threat quarterback. He has a very, very special arm, and he's an amazing runner as well. One of the fastest guys on the field, and he's got the best arm, or one of the best arms in the country. So Washington, they're picking this high because they don't really have a future at the quarterback position. They don't have that guy right now. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he's about 95 years old. He's been in the league forever. So they look and they get their future guy here. I think it's actually decent value. The upside is just through the roof with Malik Harris. At number 12 overall, the Las Vegas Raiders, I definitely don't think this was the best pick for them. But if we're talking the Raiders, it's a Raiders pick, and that's not to say that Kaiir Elam is a bad value here at number 12, and he's not a bad player here at number 12. But you know, they have some big needs on the offensive line. There's plenty of offensive linemen left, and Elam, he's more athlete than football player right now, I feel like. So I think that right now, Kaiir Elam might not be worthy of a number 12 pick, but the Raiders, they're addressing the secondary here, which is something that they need. So Kaiir Elam at number 12. At number 13, the Carolina Panthers select an offensive lineman, an offensive guard from Tennessee, Cade Mays, former Georgia player, so you know he has the talent, but he transferred to Tennessee, and he's been really, really good there. He's going to have another good season here in 2021, and I have him as my best offensive guard. I think that he has the potential to be a top 20 pick, and that's pretty high praise for an offensive guard. At number 14, the Minnesota Vikings select Josh Jobe, a cornerback from Alabama. Cornerback is one of Minnesota's biggest needs, and they didn't address it super high in this draft in this 2021 draft. So they look for Josh Jobe here, and Josh Jobe is a guy that can come in and start for them right away, and they're going to need him too because that cornerback position is just not very good, not very talented right now. At number 15 overall, the Arizona Cardinals address the offensive line. They select Mississippi State offensive tackle Charles Cross. So Charles Cross, he can come in. They have DJ Humphries at left tackle, but right tackle kind of uncertain. So I think they get their guy here at number 15 overall to plug into that offensive line. At number 16 overall, we see the first wide receiver go off the board, and this might be a surprise. I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers selecting Garrett Wilson, a wide receiver from Ohio State. So Garrett Wilson is a guy that I really like. You could certainly make an argument that he is the best wide receiver in this draft class. Personally, I don't think so. I think that belongs to John Mechie. But Garrett Wilson is this insanely talented athlete and a very, very good wide receiver as well. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, Juju Smith-Schuster re-signed on a one-year deal, but I don't really think that he's going to be there long term. And those top four quarterbacks are off the board. A guy like JT Daniels, he's still on the board. Maybe Jaden Daniels, Carson Strong. There's still some really good quarterbacks on the board, but I don't think Pittsburgh looks to take any of those guys at number 16, especially with the talent that is in next year's quarterback class. So they get Garrett Wilson here. He's a guy that can be their number one if it's not James Washington, Deontay Johnson, and I don't think Juju's there long term. So Garrett Wilson, I like this pick a lot. I think it's probably about time that Steelers get another wide receiver. Now at pick number 17, another wide receiver off the board. The New England Patriots select Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks is an insanely talented wide receiver from Arkansas, and this kind of seems like it's a good fit with the Patriots. They kind of need a wide receiver, so of course they got Nelson Aguilar, they got Kendrick Bourne this offseason, but they're looking for a guy who can be a top-tier pass catcher, and I think Treylon Burks can be just that. At number 18 overall, the Los Angeles Chargers select Drake Jackson. So, of course, they still have Joey Bosa, they still have Uchenna Nwosu, but they lost Melvin Ingram, and they're kind of missing at that other defensive end spot. I think Jerry Tillery is a better fit inside. So, Drake Jackson, he fell a little bit. 18 is a little bit lower than you'll typically see him in a mock draft. So I've got the Chargers selecting him here at number 18. Good value, and he should be a really good player in this Chargers defense. At number 19, the Dallas Cowboys pick up a huge need in safety from Alabama, Jordan Battle. Now, this pick might be a little bit too high for Jordan Battle. He's probably not a top 20 player in this draft class, but Dallas has a massive hole at safety. They lost Xavier Woods, and outside of him, they really didn't have much talent there. So I think the safety position, I think Dallas is going to feel kind of forced to address it. And considering how the draft is shaken out so far, I think this is a decent pick, but it's probably their biggest need coming into the draft. At number 20 overall, the Philadelphia Eagles select Andrew Booth, a cornerback from Clemson. So they took Spencer Rattler earlier in the draft. Now I think they addressed the defense. So Andrew Booth, he's got all the talent in the world, should be Clemson's top corner next season, and I expect him to have a really big year. I think Andrew Booth is a super talented player. So I've got him going at number 20 overall. Clemson is going to have a good defense next year, and I think Andrew Booth is going to be a big part of that. I think he's going to help out what should be probably a top 10 secondary in college football, because these guys, they weren't amazing last year, but they're getting more experience and they have so much talent. Andrew Booth, very, very talented corner for the Clemson Tigers. At number 21 overall, the Tennessee Titans select Chris Olave, a wide receiver from Ohio State. So you have A.J. Brown, but Josh Reynolds really isn't too amazing. So I think you look to address the wide receiver position. Olave can be a great complement to A.J. Brown. He doesn't have to be forced to be a number one wide receiver. He can be a great complement, and that passing game should improve to help complement Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill, of course, is a pretty, I'd say, above average quarterback at that quarterback position. Derrick Henry, arguably the best running back in the NFL. So Chris Olave makes this offense really, really scary. At number 22 overall, the Indianapolis Colts select another wide receiver. This one is George Pickens from Georgia. So George Pickens suffered a torn ACL. There's a chance that he misses the entire 2020 or the entire 2021 season, but he's still going to be a very highly rated prospect on many people's boards. And he's shown that he is super talented at Georgia, and I expect him to still be a high draft pick. I think that he still has the ability to be a first round draft pick, and that's what I have the Colts doing here at number 22 overall. T.Y. Hilton, he's not there for much longer, and Michael Pittman, Zach Pascal, but I think George Pickens has the potential to be their top tier pass catcher for many years to come, and they kind of need that now. So at number 22, solid value for a good receiver in George Pickens. At number 23 overall, the Jets go with an offensive lineman in the third straight first round in Thayer Munford from Ohio State. So they selected Mekhi Becton. He's playing left tackle. Verituckle will play somewhere inside, but Munford, I think he can play right tackle, and I think I could see him probably kicking in to guard as well if they needed him there. So they're getting a pretty versatile piece, and a guy that could certainly improve that offensive line a lot. At number 24 overall, the New Orleans Saints select JT Daniels from Georgia. So they're finally addressing that quarterback position. There's a lot of questions regarding what they do with the quarterback position, and I think this is the answer right here. If JT Daniels is on the board here and they have a good season, they probably don't see Jameis Winston as the future. Taysom Hill, kind of a weird pick to call your future quarterback, but I think JT Daniels can be a good player. 24 is pretty good value, and he's going to have a big season at Georgia this year, so I think this is a pretty solid pick for the New Orleans Saints. At number 25 overall, the Cleveland Browns select Owen Papao, and linebacker from Auburn. So they drafted Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, but linebacker, still a pretty big need. They're addressing it here at number 25. At number 26, the Miami Dolphins select the first running back of the first round in Kyren Williams from Notre Dame. So I was talking about him in yesterday's video as sort of a sleeper for this draft. I think that he is a very good player, and I have him as the best running back in this draft class. So Kyren Williams, I think he's going to have another huge season at Notre Dame and push to be a first-round pick. Dolphins, they didn't address the running back position until late in this 2021 draft, so I think they address it early, get their number one guy in Kyren Williams at number 26 overall. At number 27 overall, the Baltimore Ravens select George Karlaftis, an edge rusher from Purdue. So Karlaftis is arguably, you can make an argument that he's the third best edge rusher in this class, probably ahead of Zach Harrison. Big Ten has a lot of talented edge rushers coming out in this year's class, but I think Karlaftis is a pretty good fit. Of course, they drafted Jason Owe, but they lost Matt Judon, and Karlaftis, I think, can be a little bit of a versatile piece on that front, on that defensive front that they kind of need. But we'll have to see how Owe pans out. I think that'll be a big factor in what the Ravens do with their first round pick next year. At number 28 overall, the Detroit Lions select John Mechie, a wide receiver from Alabama. He's going to be their number one wide receiver in 2021, of course, with Devontae Smith gone. So I think Mechie's really going to step up. I think that he is the best wide receiver prospect in this draft class, and if that is the case, then he's going to be a first-round pick most likely. And I think Mechie, just a super talented prospect. He's got a pretty complete skill set. I think he has a really good NFL skill set. And the Lions, they're in need of a wide receiver, helping out Sam Howell here, getting him a target to throw to. At number 29, the Green Bay Packers select Kenyon Green, an offensive guard from Texas A&M. So we're not really considering the quarterback position here at number 29. It's just such a weird situation right there in Green Bay currently, but I think that the Packers get Kenyon Green here. He's a guy that can start at the offensive guard position. That's a little uncertain right now for the Packers. They're just helping out that offensive line some. This is a team that really doesn't have a bunch of holes, and I thought Kenyon Green was a pretty good fit here at number 29 overall. At number 30 overall, the Buffalo Bills select Sheridan Jones, a cornerback from Clemson. So they've already had Andrew Booth selected in the first round of this mock draft. So Clemson has two corners taken. And Sheridan Jones, I think he's a super talented corner as well. I'd say Booth is probably more talented and has more upside, but Sheridan Jones, he's a guy that can start across from Tre'Davious White and be very, very effective. And the Buffalo Bills, they really need that. So I've got Sheridan Jones here at number 30 overall. At number 31 overall, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Rasheed Walker, an offensive tackle from Penn State. So they have Tristan Wirfs at right tackle, but Donovan Smith, he's kind of old at left tackle, and I think Rasheed Walker can be his replacement. Pretty good value here at number 31 overall. At number 32 overall, the Kansas City Chiefs select Aiden Hutchinson, an edge rusher from Michigan. So Aiden Hutchinson is a very good edge rusher from Michigan. Would have been a high draft pick had he left Michigan this year, but he decided to come back, and I think he has the potential to be a first-round pick. The Chiefs, they kind of have a need at the edge rusher spot, so I think they address it here, get a good pass rusher in Aiden Hutchinson. So that's all I've got for the mock draft. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you're going to have to let me know in the comment section what picks you liked and what picks you would change. I want to know both of those in the comments. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. I really appreciate that, and I really appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving me lately. So my live streaming channel, Clemson channel, and my Discord server will all be linked in the description. And an IRL friend of mine, so an in real life friend of mine, not a guy that I met on YouTube or anything, he's starting a channel soon, and that will also be linked in the description. It is Top 10 Music. You see it on your screen. Currently, he has 6 subscribers. I mentioned it at the beginning of this video, but I'm mentioning it again. So let's try to get him to 15 subscribers. I hope we can do that. That would really make his day, really make my day as well. And if you have made it this far, let me know in the comments, who would you pick if you had to take one of these two wide receivers for your team? Would you select Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson? Of course, Ohio State teammates. So let me know in the comments, if you made it this far, you know the question, who would you select, Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson? But that is all I've got, so I'm going to mention all this again. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you liked about this mock draft, what you didn't like, what would you change. I want to know in the comments. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And go subscribe to my live streaming channel and my Clemson channel. They are each linked in the description. My Discord server linked in the description, and my friend's channel that he will start uploading on soon. That is also linked in the description. Currently, as of the filming of this video, 6 subscribers. Let's try to get that up to 15 before he posts a single video. That would be absolutely awesome if you guys could do that for him. But that's all I've got. So I will see you guys next time here on Sports Earth.